Yo, 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 yo. Welcome in to Z and B Live.
We're not live.
That's right.
We're not live.
Z and B almost live. Your unfiltered Lego podcast. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, Mr. Bricks O'Brien. Good to see you, and welcome in. Yes, we are not technically live right now, but we're hoping you guys are catching this on the replay gang, whatever you want to call it, all that stuff, either here on YouTube or over on Spotify or Apple Podcast or any of those other podcasty things. But it does feel different when we don't get to do it live for, people, because we don't typically go through a whole thing where it's, interacting with the audience until afterwards. So we have a post show, but it's still, I don't know, there's still some energy that you can feed off of that, right? Like, I've talked about it before when it comes to live streaming versus pre-recorded content. There's going to the movies and there's going to the theater. And I feel like live streaming is more of that theater performance. People have to be a little bit more on their toes and able to handle anything that is thrown at them. And I love that. I thrive off of that. I like that idea of kind of, getting that instant gratification, that instant feedback.
Pressure.
Yeah, there it is. So we're still doing what we can to, like, even when live shows up and we cannot be available for a live show for ZNB Live, your unfiltered Lego podcast, we still want to bring you guys some content. So hopefully you all stick around for the rest of the show. It is a tight hour-long show. We don't just go on and on and on and on for an unforeseen amount of time. This is a tight show that we will keep the timer going at the top. And we've got a lot of topics to cover and a lot of things to talk about during this show. But Mr. Bricks O'Brien, first, let me throw it to you. How the heck are you? We're getting towards the end of February, my guy.
All I want to do is sleep, build Lego, and eat pizza all day. That's all I want to do.
It should be on a t-shirt.
Dude,
right?
Best-selling merch either of us would ever have for the rest of our lives.
Right. I'm down with that.
I'm good. I'm definitely good. Borderline great, borderline amazing. We'll talk about things in a minute here. But life continues to be crazy and awesome at the same time. And I'm happy I get to do the show with you in the midst of all the craziness that even you have, which you are actually the reason why we can't do the show live tonight.
Yeah, this time it's my fault.
You're hanging out with NFL superstars all day.
Soon to be superstars, actually. I love it. The NFL Combine happens every year in my hometown. I've been working at the NFL Combine on the media side, doing television stuff since 2013, I think.
So for those that don't know, what is the Combine?
The NFL Combine is a week-long event that the NFL puts on that invites collegiate prospects that are coming into the NFL draft. So it's an opportunity for NFL teams to get to see all of these college players perform and showcase what they can do, either through drills. One of the reasons Indianapolis is so sought after as a host location is our connectivity in Indianapolis is ridiculous as far as our downtown hotel corridor, our convention center, and our stadium, the NFL stadium that we have here. It's all connected by skywalks or underground tunnels. So you can literally go from all of our major hotels to the convention center to the stadium without ever actually setting foot outside. So even though it's February, and believe it or not, it's actually we're in the high 50s now. Like it normally when the Combine shows up, because most of the NFL Network people that I work with, they show up from California, and all they do, it always snows. Inevitably, we'll have 60, 70 degree weather the week before the Combine, and then it'll snow the week that they're all here, and all I hear is complaints from all the California people about how cold it is and everything. And it's actually flipped this year, where it was flipping freezing last week, and they've brought the warmer, nicer spring weather. Matter of fact, it rained and hailed yesterday. It was I know it sounds weird, like nicer weather, hail, but like really, like that to me, that's spring. That's spring weather, like stormy weather or whatever. That's spring weather to me. So it was a little different to see that. But the Indianapolis has that connectivity. We've got the proximity between, airport, between major hotels, the convention center, and the stadium. But the big thing that Indy has are all the medical facilities, like really close by, and the amount of MRI machines that we have in the city. Not only the amount of MRI machines, but the amount of MRI machines that can handle large humans, right? So, and some of these dudes are large humans.
So are these players that are like basically destined for the NFL, or is this like a last chance bid to get into the draft, and the coaches and scouting agents are like, making last minute decisions before the draft, which happens, a little while from now?
All these players are destined to be drafted. This is by invitation only. And so they kind of curate the selections that they pick and bring in. There's a lot of people that don't actually come to the combine because they were never invited that still get drafted. There's some people that, especially some higher profile players that are already like from college, that choose to opt out, because what we have seen, because it goes both ways with your question, what we have seen is the combine make or break draft order, not necessarily, or draft position, not necessarily will they be drafted, but where are they going to be drafted? So we've had players come in and shake up the world. They were good in college, but they come to the combine and knock the socks off of everybody, whether it be from their performances or whether it be from, the meetings and things that they put these kids through, right? On the flip side, I've seen draft picks drop because of combine performance, or something in their medical shows up that they go through this rigorous medical testing, and something shows up, then all of a sudden that they start dropping, or rumors start flowing around, like this person's got a history with heart issues or back issues or whatever. They put a lot of stock in, measurables and things like that, but then they go out and they run their drills, and everybody puts stock in running the 40. Everybody wants to know what their 40 time is and what their 40 time is going to be. It's one of the biggest, things that people look for during the combine. So it's fascinating to see all this play out in real time. Even from my little corner of it, we bring in people that, for interviews and for some specialty shots, and you're going to see all of our stuff during the actual televised draft more than anything. And it's going to be, running, overlaying while we're waiting those 4 or 5 minutes for the draft picks to come in. Like, that's what they're going to be. And then once they're drafted, they'll kind of re-show it and stuff like that. Well, they'll use some of our stuff for promos coming up, but some of it's,
I can feel everybody who loves Lego listening and being like, "Oh, look at all this sports ball talk."
Sports ball. Listen, we got sports coming up here in March, so don't listen. There's going to be a lot of sports talk going on, I think, in this particular episode. So just get your, embrace the sports and let us just have our sports fun. Speaking of sports fun, that segue made no sense, but
it did not make any sense actually at all.
It made no sense. It made no sense at all. Speaking of other fun that's not sports related, that's wrong.
That's the one thing I might not be doing this year.
Yeah, that's not really. There it is. The NAB show. So even though we're not live, we're going to treat it like we're live. The NAB show in Las Vegas is something that, I actually enjoyed attending on a regular basis. It's the National Association of Broadcasters. It's something that fit into my world, into the television and broadcast world, the content creation world. Now they're really kind of diving in to the idea of content creation beyond just television, stuff like that. And we've got some big news coming out of our little podcast family here. Mr. Bricks O'Brien, tell us a little bit about NAB in Vegas 2025.
Well, I was presented a unbelievable opportunity for life by a buddy of mine, Joe Sotilli, who works at Diffraction. It's a company that helps a lot with like TikTok, live streaming specifically, a big influencer kind of platform, and really been a friend of mine for years. I'm not a big TikToker, so he always berates me about it. But regardless of that, I was actually on my way into Boston after we had not done our show for the day. And he said, hey, I have this opportunity that came up pertaining to something you might be interested in. And essentially what has happened with some contacts he's been in touch with, that there are executives that are looking to content creators to take what they're doing and make it a more palatable show for, as it would call, linear television. So think about like Drew Barrymore show, daytime television sort of a deal, where it's a celebrity guest and big production, multiple, cameras, big studio set, whatever. Those are millions and millions of dollars to produce for every episode, let alone, an entire season of it, right? And that airs 5 days a week. So content creators being who they are, we are doing crazy new innovative stuff, interactive stuff, and they want to see what someone with my skill set could bring to the table for a situation like that. So Joe asked me for a 3-sentence pitch for what a show would be. And I haven't shared it anywhere. Do you want me to share it with you?
I would love to hear, because this is basically an elevator pitch. Like a 3-sentence pitch is basically an elevator pitch.
Yes, an
I don't know if you
elevator
want to
pitch.
explain what an elevator pitch is, but like that's what this basically is.
Yes. So he's like, yeah, send me an elevator pitch, what you have in mind. This is not Chat GPT'd, by the way. This is all from my brain for context. I said, our show, I don't know who is our, but our show meshes the professional broadcast polish with the real-time engagement audiences have come to expect, from podcast-style guest segments to mini games and real-time events from the audience. You'll be at the edge of your seat with engaging, shareable moments with anticipation of what's next. You're not just watching the show, you're controlling it. And I submitted that. I have no idea what that means, but we're going to figure it out.
Was that the final line in the elevator? I have no idea what that means. Was that the final sentence?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's saying you're not just watching the show. So like basically I thought like what would a Brian Saviano, take on like a late night show? What would that look like? And I've started formulating this idea. And it turns out the executives that are making these decisions liked that my pitch, and I'm one of 4 creators that get to go to NAB show as part of this lineup, pitch the idea. And if they like it, I literally have no idea what happens, but probably something good. And then we see what happens from there. So I'll be there from April 5th through probably the 8th, which is when the actual convention is happening. And then
how does the format work with the pitch? Like, do you go pitch them in a private room somewhere, and then later on, like they bring in the other people that are pitching, and you guys have kind of a panel? Like, what's the format like?
You're asking a lot of questions, and I have no idea. So we are waiting on next steps. We're waiting on next steps and see.
Gotcha.
I am assuming that I'm going to put together a formal pitch in form of a pitch deck, and need to run through every scenario possible for this sort of a thing. But I have no clue other than what I literally have told you already, and that I am going. That's about all I know right now.
I freaking love it, man. The Saviano show coming in 2027, probably, when everything is said and done. Like, and I just want to be, listen, don't forget about the little people like me on your way to the top, all right? I want to be your Ed McMahon. I want to be the guy sitting over in the corner just going, ha, 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 ha. Ah.
I'm sorry. Who are you?
Ed McMahon?
No. The person talking to me right now. Who are? Sorry, I've already forgotten and moved on to my LA mindset now. My apologies.
Finish the show.
Up next, we have Qui-Gon. I don't know what that means.
No, that is not a typo. That is not a typo.
Oh, okay.
That is not a typo. Qui-Gon. I mean, going back to this, listen, I'm really excited for you. And I honestly, to put a bow on it, I hope and expect nothing but big things from this. And I do have a title for you for your show, a real title for this live interactive show that would be on potentially daytime or nighttime. I mean, listen, both time slots. The kids are in bed, Brian. So we're gonna have to change the branding up a little bit. But I do believe that we have a title for the title of the show should be Z&B Live, your unfiltered Lego podcast. There it is.
That's it.
Oh wait, you're the head of the show. B and Z Live, your unfiltered Lego podcast. It doesn't have the same ring to it, does it? Doesn't have it.
Move over, Kelly Clarkson. It's your boys.
It's your boys.
We out here.
Anyway, Qui-Gon, everybody. Lego has been down this path a few times at this point, where they have released a set, and then for some weird reason, they decide they don't like the particular mold or the particular, in this case, hairpiece or whatever that goes along with it, and they pull it. They pull it off. They change the mold. They change whatever they wanted to change on it, and they put it back out there, which then snowballs into this whole thing of, well, if you got the set in the initial run, you have this collector series piece now that you're going to quickly turn around and try to sell and make a massive profit over. So this is what happened to Qui-Gon Jinn from the Sith Infiltrator set that came out in 2024. The Darth Maul set. They released a version of it with a Qui-Gon with a reddish beard and hair piece thing or whatever, and they decided to change it and then pulled their inventory and changed it to a darker brown, which now makes a lot of sense because I pre-ordered that, or I got it. I ordered it early or something. There was something going on there. I ordered it early or pre-ordered it or whatever it was available. And it never, it did not show up. Was not showing up. I couldn't figure out why it was back. It was on back order forever. I couldn't figure out why it was back ordered and not shipping and all this stuff. And then finally it just shipped. No explanation, whatever. It was just back in stock. And boom, there you go. Now we know why. They were apparently pulling all of their inventory. But things have snuck out there, and people did get those initial releases in the stores. People did get the initial releases at Lego stores, at Targets, and more recently, people are still discovering these in Walmarts across the country. So I think there's a whole UPC code on the bottom of the box that you can maybe follow and might get lucky. If it's in a certain number range, you might be able to whatever. Hopefully you all are doing the appropriate thing, not ripping open boxes to try to see what's in there, because it is a pop box. It's not something with tape. You actually have to pop the box to get inside of it. But yeah, I'm assuming Brian never gets any of the Star Wars sets. I'm assuming he doesn't have a $250 Qui-Gon Jinn sitting in his backlog.
I had no idea this was even happening.
Yeah. I've seen this with they did a in the Star Wars world, they did a Ghost set back in 2014. Does that sound right?
Yep.
Where Kanan Jarrus came out with a black hairpiece, and that freaked everybody out. And then not recently, but during the Rise of Skywalker days or Last Jedi days, they came out with a Resistance bomber set that they printed on the box. I'm trying to get this right because it was a little confusing. They printed on the box a character that was not included in the set. So you had to contact Lego, and they would send you the character that was not printed on the box. That was not in the box or something like that. And then they took it off the marketing, so then you didn't have him, or they rectified it and replaced all the boxes so you didn't have it and all this and that. I am one of the most unlucky human beings on the planet, because I still have the bomber and did not get that character in my bomber, and I built it, unfortunately, right away before I knew this was a thing. So I don't know if that was actually on my box or not. I have no clue. So that's super cool. And then just a test, I opened up very carefully. I opened up my Infiltrator box 2 nights ago just to check, and I do not have. I have the brown, which makes sense because, like I said, mine was on back order forever, so it makes sense now that they were replacing it. One of the most recent ones that comes to mind though is the battle bus was on back order forever. I wonder if there was something going on there too, if there was a misprint or something that they didn't like in the early runs of that. Nobody's said anything yet, but that's one of the most recent back ordered ones, kind of like the Infiltrator that I can think of, where we just weren't getting it. Like, it just wasn't available for some reason. It just wasn't out there. You couldn't find it. Nobody could buy it. It was weird.
I think that one was just popular.
You think it was just
in
popular?
that case? Well, it was the only Fortnite set that had minifigures in it during Christmas time, so it kind of makes sense. I'm like, why go through the bother of taking the Infiltrator off shelves with this and fixing it? Like, whatever. That Lego has made inaccurate color choices on everything forever. Why even bother? Like, that makes no sense.
I don't know. I can't. And that's, I mean, it's the Kanan Jarrus thing, whatever. Like, I just don't understand why they're doing that. The Bomber's one thing. The Bomber makes sense. They actually had a misprint kind of on the box, on the marketing, whatever, right? But this is them going back and saying, just like Kanan Jarrus, them saying, we don't like this color, or this wasn't what we initially intended, or something, and changing it. And that I don't understand. I don't get that. Not only that, we're actually they're now discovering more and more of them out there, because now people are checking. They've got that UPC number, and people are going to stores and they're buying them all up. And now the market's getting flooded with them, that resale market. And so now all of a sudden people are like, wait a minute, did I make a mistake? Did I spend $250 to acquire a minifig that really isn't as rare as what we may have thought it was going to be? There's still going to be a finite amount of them. But
can Lego go back to all of those Lego Super Mario starter courses and put minifigures in them instead?
They could. They won't, but they could.
While we're at it,
they could.
Can we please? Let's lock in and prioritize.
Here's the thing.
What I mean, Lego?
They with them doing stuff like this, though, that shows that they have the capacity and the willingness to go and change sets and fix what they consider problems, right? So then you have sets like what we ran into with Green Gots.
I would love if they did that and offered that. Like, you can do this for what, 140? How much is that Infiltrator? 130, something like that. Something stupid, right?
Right.
It's expensive. The Green Gots is that like $500?
It's it's like
it's stupid expensive.
Yeah.
If you're gonna go through, and the minifigure is so much more desirable than just like a printed part. Like, you could just do the printed part and call it a day, and people would be
that's
infinitely happier.
Right. Because so that was my initial thought, or out of the gate, was we've seen them go through what was it? Oh, it was Wally. Wally had a weak neck, and they had to kind of adjust the design of it after the fact, right? So then they released the parts, and all you had to do was just reach out to them and say, here you go. Here's maybe my receipt, whatever. Here's the bot, and they would send you the parts. And I kept thinking, well, why couldn't they just do that with Green Gods? Why couldn't they just print the piece that they need and send it out and say, here's your replacement? They obviously, like I said, they're clearly showing a willingness here to go in and what they think correct issues. Why are they not doing these things? They have the ability, but they continue to choose not to, other than they, in their own stubborn ways, think those things aren't a mistake, which is mind-boggling. But hey, whatever. Who knows? Maybe one day we will get that printed piece for Green Gots, and life will find a way. Speaking of life finding a way, we have finally the announcement, the official announcement and reveal of the new Tyrannosaurus Rex model, skeleton model for the Jurassic Park, Jurassic World series, with a very interesting bit of trolling that the Lego group did. And I kind of dig it. I kind of like what they did here, where it was leaked. The set itself was leaked. There were shots of it posted on a store shelf, a Lego store, I believe in Mexico, and then shortly thereafterwards, people got the box art and stuff like that, and were leaking that information all over the web. I mean, people knew it was coming before. The issue was everybody thought it was going to be a March 1st release. That was what people were reporting, March 1st, March 1st, March 1st. However, upon official reveal, it is a March 15th with insiders early access on March 12th. So maybe why they held off a little bit, because it wasn't coming out in a few days. It was coming out in a couple weeks. So that's fine. However, at $250, it's again one of those high price sets that I feel like they should be giving people a little bit more notice on and saying, hey, this is like happening and it's going to be expensive, and you start saving your bucks because, here on March 15th, you're going to need to drop some dough. But by God, after all those leaks hit and people are constantly going to the website trying to see if it's finally live on the website, is it finally live? Do we have official photography? What's going on? LEGO did the best thing I think I've ever seen them do, man. And they trolled them with a Nedry Lego version Nedry from the first Jurassic Park film, saying, you didn't say the magic word.
It's wonderful.
Oh my God. It was perfect. LEGO. Heck yeah. More of that, please. Lean into the leaks. Don't pretend like they're not happening. Don't act like they're not happening. Lean into them. Whoever decided that we're going to do this, whoever came up with the idea, and then whoever approved it, give them raises, because that was spectacular marketing. Okay. Every day we were checking that website at that point to still see if we got the Nedry. It was lovely. And I can't give them enough praises for it. It was spectacular. That being said, the model itself, Brian, you have an interesting thought about this, which kind of surprised me.
I do.
You do.
I don't remember what that.
You don't remember what that thought?
It's been a crazy 3 days.
Do you like this or not like this set?
I love this set, actually.
There it is. I would never have thought this was a Bricks O'Brien set.
Yes.
Would never have thought that.
So what's really funny about this is they came out with a model not too long ago, which is a white whale of yours, or do you have it in the backlog? I forget.
Depends on which set it is.
It's the one with the gate with the T-Rex.
Oh, white whale. Yeah, I don't own it. I wanted it. It's one of those sets I saw at the Lego store. Like every time I went in, I was like, next time. And then eventually there was never a next time. It pains me today.
While I was working at the Lego store, there was a situation where I got that model for free. And I built the dinosaur. This was during lockdown. I built the dinosaur. And I was so bored and disinterested, I never built the gate. And then I sold it when I didn't work at Lego anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I was not able to get through it. I don't know why. It didn't captivate me. It felt like nothing. But like to see, maybe it's because of the color scheme or the way it looked a little derpy. I don't know. But to see the skeletal version of this, it brings me to, like, if I'm looking in like the Natural History Museum, I'm seeing this as an anatomy piece in a way. Like I can just appreciate the way, like this to me speaks to me more than just like a dinosaur. I don't know. Like this, of all the different Lego sets that have come out, to go in the 1-bedroom studio apartment in Soho to impress, the people coming over for that business meeting and the TV deal in Las Vegas, right? This is one that I actually like and would see on like the table, the coffee table or whatever that is behind the couch as part of the open floor plan. That is there, so you can see it in contrast to the skyline in New York City or Vegas or whatever. It's perfect. You could take the Jurassic World or Park branding off of this. I think it would still be totally perfect. And they have an excuse now to bump it up an extra $50 because it got that Jurassic Park name on it. But I think it's super cool. Will I be getting it? No, I got no place to put it, but it is very cool.
It's huge. That's the thing, right? Like, I'm a huge Jurassic Park fan. Okay. Huge Jurassic. I have a lot of, between the stuff from Bricker Builds and the stuff from actual Lego, like I have a lot of Jurassic Park / World sets. And this would be an amazing like backdrop to those sets, right? Like, because it's going to tower over all of them. It's massive, but the size of it is almost a turnoff for me because it's so large.
How big is it?
I don't have the exact dimensions in front of me.
Oh, I'll pull it up.
But because it's so large, it's almost a little. I'm almost put off a little bit because of that. Like, I'm not sure where I would display it, and because it's tall and it's long. It's like trying to figure out. I mean, I don't think it's quite as long as a Titanic, but it's like it's got the same vibe to it, right? It's like, how do you need a lot of real estate to like sit this thing? And I've just been, man, God, we're just getting so many of these longer sets. It feels like lately that it's just like, stop. Like it's where I go back to like those the new stem set. Like that stem set is perfect for me. Like that's what I want. It's interesting. It's got cool play features. It's got cool minifigs. Give me the stem set. The stem set's perfect. And then I see this.
It's 12 and a half inches high, 3,145 pieces. No word on the length on the Lego website, which is kind of weird.
And the tail does bend, like it has articulate, like it can kind of swoop around, which will help on some of that, on some of that length. But that, all that being said, I know that a lot of people talked about the head is basically the same build as what we got a couple years ago with the little T-Rex skeleton or skull. Now we got a Triceratops last year. Some people have said, hey, maybe this will start a new line and they'll start doing more of them. And then people are like, well, the Triceratops, we got that skull already. Give me that one. And I was like, Triceratops,
41 inches long, by the way, 41 inches.
Good God. How long is
over 3 feet, dude?
If you're on the website, look up Titanic. I'm curious.
Yeah, I got you.
That being said about the Triceratops, even though we got the skull, I don't think y'all would want a Triceratops skeleton as much as you think you do. The head itself is going to be a lot of the most interesting part of it. Give me something like a Stegosaurus instead. I think a Stegosaurus would be so much more interesting of a build.
54 inches.
So it's okay. It's only 13 inches shorter than the Titanic. Yeah, that's a big baby, man. That's a big baby. I don't know where y'all are putting it. I have no idea, dude. And that's the problem. I don't know where I would need to install a floating shelf or something at that length to like mount that kind of set. It's too long to fit in the particular, IKEA type of bookcases that we all use for display shelves and stuff like. Hey, just no way, man. That's a big boy, or in this case, it's a girl, I guess. But I think this set. You talk about being bored during the Jurassic Park gate thing, man. I think this set's gonna be boring to build, dude. I don't know. It's gonna be a lot of the same stuff.
It might be boring. I mean, I was bored even doing the leaves on the Deku tree and finishing that up. That I thought that build was not remarkable. The final product is nice, but I think for this one, the final product is going to be what you're after. So it might just be suffering through it just to see it all done. But at least, the part I could feel being repetitive is like, the rib cage and the tail. And those are just like a couple parts each. They're not like immaculate looking tree pieces, right? Or leaf pieces. So at least there's that.
You're making the same rib bones 18 times, right?
Yeah, but they're like 3 pieces. That's not bad.
Okay. It's just there's going to be a lot of like, times 18 times, times 12, the neck, the vertebrae in the neck, like the legs are the same build, just mirrored. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what we're looking at. And that's where it does feel like a botanicals type of set for me, where we're making the same 3 flowers 5 times each or whatever. And that stuff's going to get old quick. I think you're right. I think it's a gorgeous model when it's done and it's on display. Dude, it looks sick. You take that Jurassic Park plaque away and you take the minifigs away, and it's just a cool looking model that you got to construct and build, and it's going to be great. But
yeah, definitely.
You had the minifigs back. It's nice that we get a couple minifigs. I'm not sure what's going on with those minifigs. The hair on Ellie looks odd. And the hair piece that they used on Grant, go back to the Qui-Gon thing, I think it's the wrong color. So I'm not really sure what they're doing there. And the fact that they didn't give Grant his signature hat, even though I understand, like, in the overall movie, he's not like, he doesn't wear that hat very long in the movie. Like after the whole scene with, you know, the T-Rex breaking through at night, the hat's gone. But even if you go back and play the old Jurassic Park video games, Grant's got that dang hat on the entire video game, man, because that was a signature look for him. And the fact that they didn't include the hat, I think, is odd. So there's some odd choices with the minifigs here. There's not, from what I can tell, there's not a lot of like Easter eggy type things that you're going to really have with this. That's one of the beauties of that Jurassic Park gate set, was like the scenes that they built into the gate. I thought was really cool. That's what I'm hoping. That's the blueprint for Goonies, by the way. That gate is that you do One Eye Willie's ship with the back of it as all of the scenes from the movie. Like there's your blueprint for the Goonies pirate ship. I'm not rushing out and getting this. There's no way.
I really like that plaque being in beige and a little cracked and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, no.
What I didn't realize about the T-Rex with the arms, the bones, is only like one little. I look like I'm doing a presidential impression. There's only one set of bones that's going like from the sides, and then the arms in the middle. Like, provided this is anatomically correct as possible, it's like very interesting.
I feel like they did. I you know, without you know, consulting some of our amazing paleontology friends that we have over on Twitch and whatnot. I don't know for certain, but I know when the skull came out, they were very impressed with the way they were able to capture what actually is going on in there. So I'm assuming they did the same thing. They just took that skull, turned it up to 11 and came up with this. Again, it's not for me. I was kind of hoping for some kind of cool give with purchase to entice people to like maybe go get it on March 15th, but they, at least to this date, they haven't released any information about a GWP that would force people to go, because March itself, Mr. Bricks O'Brien, man, March is packed. Ladies and gentlemen, start your freaking engines when it comes to March, because it's going to be a wild ride. They've got, I didn't even get the final number for what sets are coming out in March, but you know, you're talking Star Wars, Animal Crossing, Technic, Speed Champions, Harry Potter, Creator, Disney, Ninjago. My God, it's going bananas. And
is there an Animal Crossing set coming out?
From what I have in my notes, but what I just don't understand is, once again, we're being flooded with these amount of sets after a huge 300 plus set release in January. February was at least a little bit quiet. April should be a little bit quiet, but then May is gonna, you know, pop off again. And leading the pack is F1. And right on time, because F1, the new season for F1 starts. Now, I'm not an F1 fan. You're not an F1 fan. But man, oh man, those F1 fans are salivating over these new sets coming out. And, you know, I get it. I get it. I think it's interesting that Amazon is doing the package deal, right, with the Speed Champions, and Lego isn't.
You know, sometimes there's a random gift package. You know, we see that stuff at Costco all the time, the 2-in-1, the 3-in-1, the whoever in one. So maybe, you know, some sort of deal, something. You're only saving a couple bucks, I think. There are no new Animal Crossing sets for March.
So no Animal Crossing sets. Gotcha.
No,
okay.
But there is still a bunch. I mean, thankfully, nothing exciting for me. I am having a very tame March in general. And I'm glad for the F1 people to go out and, you know, they'll appreciate it. They'll love it. But it is not up my docket in any way, shape, and form. So I'm going to stand clear. I actually picked up yesterday, using my VIP points and remaining gift card balance, the Milano. So that is something.
I can see it over your shoulder. I've been sitting here staring at it, and I'm like, oh boy, there it is.
beautiful. I don't know if I'll have time to get to it within the next 2 months. So maybe I just might build it for myself, in my off time, which, rare, but like, the decompressing time while I'm watching a movie or something. So we'll see.
It's
kind of for me in March.
Kind of a bummer for me because I would love to get your, get your real time impressions on it. I still think it's the best set of 2025 or 2024 that Lego put out, man. Absolutely looks great. So yeah, F1's not going to be a big deal for us. There's a lot of other cool stuff though. The Horizon set's coming out, and that could be.
I was actually playing Astrobot. One of my mods, shout out to Anthony, who's definitely not watching this, but he was talking to me about Horizon and the Lego Horizon game on just Steam, to be fair, not counting Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5, whatever. At the time of this time last week, there were approximately 4 people playing Lego Horizon on PC. So to say that game did not perform to anybody's expectation is an understatement. So they're releasing this set multiple months after the game initially came out, not received well. I think my opinion on all of this, just as a side tangent, because we got some time and nothing else to talk about, I think Sony was doing this as a way to introduce the new and emerging market of adventure game explorers into their very own Zelda-inspired franchise, the Horizon. And by phrasing it as a Lego version of the main story of the first game, it's a new and engaging opportunity for fans to experience the Horizon storyline in a fresh and inspiring way. And it backfired because it sucked. So now they have to pivot and do something else. So too little too late.
Okay, so I have a question. This is a legit question.
Yes.
Have the Lego games ever like succeeded? Like have made like really, like not like that initial rush, but had longevity where people are still going back. Like Skywalker Saga is a prime example, right? Like are people still going back and playing that, or is there just kind of initial curiosity about it and then they just walk away from it? Man, I must have a problem with Lego games. I get bored with them quick, dude. And not only I do, but like I've tried to sit and play because there are a lot of co-op stuff on those games, which is nice. But like I've tried to sit and play with my son back when they would come out, and dude, he got bored with them, dude. Like we would just get bored with them after 30 minutes or something. Like it was crazy how quickly we would just be done with those games.
I think it's interesting. For context, as of right this moment of recording, Lego Harry Potter Collection has 121 people in the game, and Lego Horizon Adventure has 9. So that kind of gives you. I don't know. Lego 2K Drive has 29, and people did not like that game. So clearly, I think a lot of the affinity for the Lego games is in nostalgia. If you want a game where there's a whole bunch of stuff for you to do, and this has happened to me as a kid, you get one game that you buy for Christmas or that you can rent at Blockbuster, aging myself, of course, but like, you get your one opportunity, get one thing, and that's the game, because you have an infinite list of things to do, all these random characters and side quests and blah, 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 blah. And now I think because all the other things like Minecraft and Roblox and YouTube and literally anything else can take up your attention in more enjoyable or meaningful ways, just to have a game that's like, here's a bunch of stuff for you to do. You're like, I don't really care. Like, I don't care about that stuff. And especially because in a Lego game, I know I'm a grown man, right? But like compared to a Mario game, when I play Super Mario Odyssey, you're getting all those collectibles in different ways, in different circumstances every single time. Lego Horizon, it's the same parameters, the same perspective, the same everything for hours. And some people really like that. I really don't like that. So I think it's a lot of nostalgia. It's a lot of the past times. And when they tried to innovate with things like Lego Horizon Adventure or Lego Fortnite, whatever, I don't think it resonates. But, what a slam dunk it'd be for me as a Lego fan and a video game fan. I should be the guy.
Right.
I should be the Lego video game guy, and I'm not. So
that's why I'm
sucks.
asking, what is that saying about the actual product? Because it seems like when they can't grab that core audience of people who should be into it, what is that saying about the actual product they're putting out? That's a little.
Well, I'm a grown man, right? So I'm not a kid. That's like playing these games.
No,
so
but you said it though. You are a Lego fan. You know, you enjoy the product. You are a video game fan. You enjoy the product. But those two, for whatever reason, are not. They're not producing what they should be. What was it? It was Dimensions, right? Where they tried to bridge the gap between.
So good,
right? Why did they walk away from that?
Toys to Life as a fad was dying, and you know, it's shelf space. All of it requires a whole bunch of shelf space, not just in a Lego store, but in the video game aisle. So when you have all of that, along with one Lego Dimension space is 2 standard video game titles. And when you have stuff coming out as frequently, or you're a first party company like Nintendo, and you're like, forget you guys, we want our main games on there. It just like there's literally an entire aisle dedicated to Skylanders, Disney Infinity, and Dimensions all in one go, when you could put literally anything else there. So I think that was at Toys R Us. So I think that's part of it. I really love the idea of having a game where it has all the different IPs inside of it. But now that's Lego Fortnite. And I don't like that game because I think it's super boring. So that's just me though. So whatever.
There's nothing in March you're getting, right? Like you've got the Van Gogh flowers, you've got the Trevi Fountain, the French Cafe, the stem.
Excuse me, Zach. I can't be bothered to build these Legos. I have to plan out the Kickstarter for Pro Gamer's Guide to Defeating Trolls and write a pitch for my television show, baby.
He's already in.
I'm sorry. Who are you?
I already can't handle Hollywood O'Brien here. The ones that are kind of on my list would be the Transformers Brickheads. Those are high up there because I'm really curious about them. But could they wait? Yes. Could the Star Wars helmet wait? Yes. Nothing's
got you shimmying out your seat.
And is that sad? That feels sad.
That's fine, Zach. That's fine. You don't got to buy a bunch of stuff every month. You could focus on the things that you really want to enjoy even more so, and build something out that shameful backlog, and then wait for the next wave. That's what you should do.
I need to save my money for May. Because we all know that May's coming out with some Star Wars stuff that I'm going to want to get my hands on.
You should save your money for the Pro Gamer's Guide to Defeating Trolls Kickstarter campaign. Project. Can't call it a campaign. Did you hear that part of the story I told? Maybe on live stream?
No.
Probably not. My MailChimp account that I send the emails out of.
Live stream to hear these stories, though, right?
Yeah, exactly, right?
Okay.
So they flagged my mailing account for fraud. And I'm like, what happened? It's because you can't use any email marketing service like that. You can't use it for political campaigns. So they thought I was doing a political campaign the first time around when it's a Kickstarter project. So that's why you can't call it a Kickstarter campaign. It is a campaign, but you can't call it a campaign because of illegality.
That's amazing. I love
Fun
it.
fact: they don't teach you that in business school, or maybe they do.
It's part of learning. That's what it's all about. So yeah, no, I don't see myself actually pulling a trigger on anything in March here. Saving money is at the top of the.
You are going to have an extra $100 or so back because you're not going to Brick World Chicago.
Well, look at that. See, that's one of the things that corresponds with having to save some money. Brick World is a fantastic event, a fantastic gathering of like-minded adult fans of Lego, children fans of Lego, Lego fans from across.
Children fans of Lego.
I don't know. Fans of Lego from all across the globe. I mean, and I really do mean that. We had last year in 2024, we were meeting people from Australia, from the UK. It was absolutely spectacular. I'll tell you right now, I love Brickworld. In Brickworld Chicago, every time I have gone there, I've walked away and have felt inspired, and I want to do this, I want to do that, and inevitably life shows up, and then I'm not able to actually fulfill the desires and ideas that I have when I walk away from a Brickworld Chicago. But I do, it does inspire me, and I do I do at least attempt some of these things. Not all of us can be Bricks O'Brien when it comes to manifesting their goals and dreams. But
to be fair, you also have like a home, a wife, child, and big dog, all the things I want. So grass is always greener, bucko.
Hey, well, yes, and Mr. Listen, you're going to realize that when you try to get a career in television and realize it's not glamorous. Word of warning. Anyway, the idea of Brickworld and the thing that I've come to realize about Brickworld is the Lego's kind of in the background. It's kind of like a Lego live stream on Twitch. The Lego's kind of in the background. It's there as a conversation starter, but realistically, it's all about the people. It's meeting the people, hanging out with people, and looking forward to those moments and creating new memories with the people that you get to meet and network with and whatever during Brickworld Chicago. I love it. I freaking love Brickworld Chicago. And unfortunately, like so many others, I've had to walk away from it this year in 2025, and it sucks. Just the world is one of those things. It's, financial reasons, personal reasons. People, will have their reasons of why they have to make the decisions that they make in life, right? And for me specifically, there's financial reasons, there's personal reasons, but then I found out that there are a lot of other people that are having to make those same types of tough choices this year. And we're right in a window right now with Brickworld where if you did have to cancel, see, one of the things that they did this year was early on, they opened up and unlocked the hotel block, and they opened up and unlocked the ticket block, the attendee ticket block. So back in October, we had to make these decisions. Okay. A lot of time has passed between October and now coming up on March, and we're only a few short weeks away from the overall refund cutoff point when it comes to Brickworld. And even still, it's still not a full refund right now. And I totally understand that. But if you have the opportunity to go, if you can go, I highly recommend going. It's an absolute spectacular. Brian, you've gone way more years than I have. My God. What are some of your favorite highlights from Brickworld Chicago over the years?
It's the same with any convention. It is the people that you have with you that are in your corner, and you get to spend the moments of an impromptu lunch or dinner plan, having a workshop, there's a panel going on, there's a whatever happening. And if there's a situation where you're not having as many people that you're friendly with are going, and you're like, well, it is a big cost thing. These other things coming up in both of our cases. It's like, you can very easily be persuaded out of anything. And then you're like, oh, well, there's a little bit of FOMO that kicks in. You want to be there for all the big meetups and events and stuff. But all these events are truly what you make of it and what people are there. If you have not been, I would highly recommend going to check out all the different mocks that are there. If you're in a position to talk with, some of those designers a little bit more, you're going to have a great time meeting people and connecting and whatever. I understand it's difficult. Yeah. Having your one or two buddies that aren't going, you really want to see them. And thankfully, we have plenty of opportunities to do that through a live stream. I know it's not as glamorous, but then maybe there's another event that, people can rally around. Not to necessarily be that guy. But there's other events that have come up that I'll be at, not just NAB, but like Brick Slopes is another one of those conventions, community ran been around for many years, and I will be talking more about that later. But that's another opportunity for people to come together, and maybe the West Coasters, it's a bit easier with the flight and accommodations and everything else, a little bit cheaper. So it's what you make of it. So Brick World is fun. What I want out of a convention, I would say TwitchCon lines up more so at this point for me, other than doing this show and a lot of the people on Twitch. I don't find myself as locked in to Lego as much as I have been because there's all this other stuff going on. But that doesn't mean I don't appreciate everybody and everything in the community, of course, because obviously I do. But yeah, man, it's just life. It happens.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
make it out there. Do the thing.
And that's, that's the thing I want to make sure I emphasize here. Nobody feels, the people that are having to pull out of going to Brick World Chicago this year, like myself, trust me, we feel horrible about it because we are going to be missing out on some of the amazing experiences, amazing memories, and seeing some amazing things that are there for you to lay your eyes on, right? Like I said, the Legos in the background, but there's some really, really cool stuff. And when there are people going that are going to be actually displaying some of their models and some of their, creations and and not getting to see those in person is a bummer. Not getting to hang out with some people that you've been looking forward to seeing again for another year. It's a bummer, right? So trust me, the people that are having to make these decisions, whether they be financial, whether they be personal, whatever reason it may be, it sucks for them way more than it sucks for some of the other people that are going to be going, that are going to be missing them from being there. So just remember, like that overall, it bums me out, man. And Chicago's a drive, like a 4.5 hour drive for me. Like trust me, it's going to be hard that weekend not to just hop in the car and drive up for the day, just to, go give a big old hug to, certain people that are there and say hello and make an appearance and take a quick lap around the convention hall and see some cool stuff. But, again, sometimes there are just things that get in the way that you have to prioritize. And, some things like Brick World will take a back seat. But, that being said, hey, I'm looking really forward now to 2026 and hitting up Brick World once again in 2026. Should be some really cool stuff, and hopefully see a lot of people there. Go if you can. It's a good time. It's a really, really good time. That is all of our show that we have for us today. I know that Mr. Bricks O'Brien has a lot of stuff cooking between, joining Hollywood and creating a live television show.
I really don't want to go to I don't think that's what they want either. I think that, like, what if I just do the Brian Saviano experience out of like a office building, and it's cheaper than a LA studio, pay me the same amount of money, but a lot of money, but I can stay here. I think that's what they want. I think that's what I want.
I think that's what you want. That may not be what they want.
What do they want?
I like that he's making demands already. Look at this. He is ready for Hollywood.
But what do they want? Like, what?
I don't know what they want. They could
apparently you know this stuff better than I do.
It could be a lot of they could have a lot of ideas. They could have a I'll tell you what, if I was helping spearhead an idea of a content creator type of show that spans multiple types of shows and whatnot, I would be forming a studio that had multiple sets where all of the gear and whatnot is centralized, so that the amount of quality control is constantly looked at, and especially in a situation where it is live, it is interactive, and things can quickly go crazy. Having the right people in place on the technical side of it, whether it be in a control booth or otherwise, that's going to be key. And so having that centralized to a studio that they could then produce several shows throughout the course of the day makes a lot of sense. If I was spearheading an initiative like that. But hey,
you're hired.
I'm hired. Was that my elevator pitch? Maybe
That's
maybe that was my elevator pitch. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us for this current edition of ZNB Somewhat Live, your unfiltered Lego podcast. Please, if you could do us a huge favor, go ahead and like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're watching us over here on YouTube, make sure you subscribe over on all the podcast channels, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you consume your podcast. Share it out. Grab a link, share it out, let everybody know that you listen to this and you enjoy it, and leave a comment, because we would love to know some of your thoughts on some of the topics we talked about. Normally during our live show, we have a post show that you guys can voice those opinions on, but not today because we're not actually live. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. He's Brian. I'm Zach. He's obviously going to have to do a name change when he moves to Hollywood, because he's no longer going to be associated with any kind of Lego bricks. Hollywood O'Brien coming up soon, everybody. We'll see you guys next week, 7 p.m. Eastern time over on YouTube every Thursday. Till then, everybody. Bye!